your mission is accomplished, you can leave that accord and walk away from it. The Bible says they started in prayers and they were in one accord. That was the place where they started. In chapter 2 and verse 1, they were in one accord in one place and they prayed together. The Holy Ghost came. Fantastic. But by the time they got to Acts chapter 4, they were no longer just in one accord. The Bible says they were of one heart. Their hearts had come together into one place. No two hearts. Peter would think the same thing as John would think. James would think the same thing as Stephen. They were of one heart and of one mind, of one soul. How God did that operation is something that the eyes cannot, the physical mind cannot comprehend. It is deeply rooted in spirituals. The Bible says at that point, nobody considered what he had as his own. Nobody had a personal bank account. Everybody went and emptied their bank account and they brought it to the spiritual head, Peter, James, and John, and laid it at their feet. Somebody would say they were stupid. They weren't stupid. They had gotten into a place of spiritual oneness. Their hearts had become one. And they did not get there just by talking. They got there in the place of prayers. You know, it's so clear in the book of Acts of the Apostles that every time the Bible talked about oneness or being in one accord or, or being of one heart, you always find a precedence rooted in prayers. Acts chapter 4 that I read in verse 32. In verse 31, the Bible says they lifted up their mouths and their voices unto God, and they cried to God. They prayed, and after they prayed, the place where they prayed, the Bible says, was shaken, and great grace was released on them. The grace did not just come to give them boldness, it also came to give them one heart. If the grace you are receiving in this house has not, transformed your heart or transformed your mind to begin to see the things that the set man is seeing, then maybe this is not your family yet, and you need to trust God to help you to come into the vision that God has given this house, because there must be an alignment with the vision for you to actually be a part of a family. If there is no alignment, then you cannot be part. You cannot find. They would say this is what we want to do. Your heart will always be against it, not it, but because your heart is not spiritually connected. Some people might be seated here and it's just an accord you have signed. Like a bean seller and put another picture of a bread seller and said if they understand the power of agreement, they must go together in that way. If you are and you are working with somebody selling yam, you are deceiving yourself. In the same way as you want to, you must find the people that